Hello and welcome to Voice of the Boys episode 6. I'm Jack.
6 in. I'm Chris. 6 in.
Ooh, 6 in, 6 weeks.
6 in. 6
No,
weeks.
it's actually 6 weeks, is it? But here we go. Don't know how it's happened, but we are still here 6 weeks in, here to talk about all the amazing Celtic news and Celtic information that's happened this last week. And there's been a lot for once, you know. Well, there's been more. There's been a couple of games that have meant a wee bit more. They're a wee bit more serious. Games that are giving us an insight into how the series is going to go, the season's going to go. A wee bit of information about the players we've brought in. You know, we've got to watch them in a couple of games. Some guys have done really well. Some guys have maybe struggled a wee bit. But it's about getting time out in the legs of the guys, and you know, getting them used to what they're going to be playing in during this season.
I think we'll touch on the friendlies and that more in detail coming up. Obviously, I think that we've seen definitely that there is, as much as it might not all be Brendan Rodgers signings, I think we can see there's definitely high quality in some of these guys we've signed. Obviously, this is recorded the day after the Athletic Bilbao game.
Yes, indeed, we're both there.
Both different aspects around the game to look at. Obviously, we maybe didn't agree on everything, but we will touch on a lot of things. We both watched the Wolves game together.
We both watched the Wolves game together.
We'll touch on that first.
So we'll touch on the Wolves game first. Obviously, a lot of people watched the Wolves game. It was 1-1. Celtic played really well. We're leading all the way up until the 88th minute or whatever, whenever they cheated to get their penalty. But I think Celtic played really well.
I wouldn't say cheated. I would say it's very...
Well, I mean, Joe Hart...
It's very stupid from Joe Hart.
It's very stupid from Joe Hart, but come on. It's cheating, not cheating, but it's simulation. He doesn't need to go down that easily.
Kyogo does really well for the goal. Let's touch on the goal
first.
Yeah, I think it's really well worked from Kyogo to get the ball in. Abada knocks it back. Brilliantly finished by Kyogo, I think
that just kind of shows a wee bit of the play that we're going to see this season, you know, in little parts.
I think that was
really
Kyogo's first goal in pre-season as well.
I believe
so. He's finally off the mark, obviously not counting in competitive games, but we will get to that, obviously, what we're going to touch on with it coming up this weekend. Not far away now, but great to Stephen Kyogo to get a goal. Well worked. I think looking at the Wolves game, a couple of standout performers for me was Yang when he came on. Done really well when he came on. I was really impressed with Abada again. I think Abada's having a
that's what I've got down here. My notes are sparse this week, but I've got down Leo Abada standing out in both games, but especially in the Wolves game. Played really well.
I think he's done really, really well.
Fast, he was sharp, he was on the ball, he was taking people on, you know, he was cutting inside, he was taking them on the outside. I think it was just overall a very good two performances from Leo Abada.
Obviously, we'll touch more on the second performance against Athletic Bilbao coming up, but I think more the game against Wolves, brilliant. It was brilliantly took, it was brilliantly done. I cannot see a way in which we can keep the same quality without Abada. I think Abada's that highly good that we'll need to keep him. Well, my Celtic most valued aspect, jumper. Well, I say aspect, you have it, I'll have it, I'll take it.
I don't know if that's correct English, but we'll go with it.
Well, Kyogo jumper on.
I think what we proved yesterday is that Carter Vickers is a solid asset. I think he's one of the best players on the pitch. But we'll come on to that. Obviously, very poor from Joe Hart. We've said for the last few weeks about the penalty. We've said that we've needed a goalkeeper for a wee while. I'm sad that we've not seen the deal that everyone was talking about. We didn't think there was much hope for it. I'm sad we've not seen Livakovic come in yet. And the comments that Brendan Rodgers made last week which we'll touch on might hint against it. But at the end of the day, look, we've got Joe Hart, we've got Segas played yesterday. I think Segas made a couple of okay saves, but I don't think we've seen enough from anybody else to say that, oh well, they're a big enough change and they're a good save over
Scott Bain didn't concede yesterday.
Scott Bain was okay, but then again, you know, it's Scott Bain. We've seen Scott Bain concede so many goals that he shouldn't concede. In 45 minutes against Athletic Bilbao, playing well, I don't think goes, oh well, you know what, we don't need a goalkeeper anymore.
No, definitely not. I think that Joe Hart as well, as much as I really like Joe Hart and I have got a lot of time for him, I think he could be great just to train up someone who has played at such a high level like Livakovic if someone was to come in. But by the way, if anyone can hear the dog barking in the background, I think we've got a couple of disagreements. I think Joe Hart's shown that he's got top qualities, not just as a goalkeeper, but as an experienced player. See, if I say to you, remove James Forrest and remove Cal McGregor from it, who is the most
No, Joe Hart's definitely.
Joe Hart's
it could be a
most,
vice captain.
He could be. Yeah, he's a
I think,
leader.
apart from,
achieved a lot.
I think he is actually a vice captain. I don't think James Forrest is above him.
I would have said Carter Vickers was your vice, but
Well,
because he
yeah.
took the armband at a point last season. But Joe Hart, I think, he's achieved a lot through the game. He's got a lot of experience. If you bring a goalkeeper in, I just keep Joe Hart in the background to try and train and not train, but motivate and push the team.
We spoke about Joe Hart a couple of times and we went over him. Do we think he would be happy playing on back foot? I don't think
but
so.
I think I agree with that. But I think he also would maybe look at it as he's at a team that he's valued, a team that they want to take the step forward and play in Europe, and he's going to want to be a part of something. I think he's seen a lot of teams down in England give up on him.
I think so,
and
but
I think Celtic wouldn't give up on him. I think Celtic would maybe try and we've seen it with a few players where they try and nurture them in different ways and things like that, and go
field a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely. I could name the wrongdoings that they've done. They froze Sinclair out to train with under 21s. They didn't renew Lustig's contract after saying they would. Johnny Hayes,
65% wage cut or whatever it was.
Johnny Hayes didn't get the exact same treatment. Chris Commons got kind of froze out as
well.
I
mean, if we look at that, Joe Hart, you're saying he's felt underappreciated in England a couple of times. He's came here, he's been appreciated, he's been loved. If you're bringing a £10 million goalkeeper though, he has to start.
But
I'm not saying with £10 million or that.
But he also has to learn from Joe Hart, and he can also learn a lot. The guy's played in the Champions League semi-final. He saved penalties against Messi. He's won every cup in England.
True.
He's not just played in the English Premiership, remember, he's also played in the Italian
League. I do agree, but we're not talking about a guy who's got no experience here. We're talking about Dominic Livakovic, a guy who was World Cup goalkeeper.
But that's just the only name that's been chucked out.
I know, we're
not. We were sitting here 4 weeks ago looking down that lens of the camera going, Scott McTominay, Kieran Tierney. How many players have been linked with Celtic over Twitter?
No, I know.
Livakovic is a name that's been plucked out of thin air. Do I think a goalkeeper's going to come in? Yeah. Livakovic is still in the going, and everyone fingers crossed. I want it to happen, but we can't just go Livakovic. See, if you bring a goalkeeper in from the English Championship, who, let's be brutally honest, I don't know many goalkeepers in the English Championship because I don't watch it. But if you brought a goalkeeper in of a mid-age who was in the English leagues, came up to Scotland, someone maybe not of Jack Butland, but around the same age.
I don't think any guys in the English Championship are going to be coming up and competing for Champions League football.
But you never know. Never know.
I think now with Celtic, if that's where your expectations are, and that's where you're looking in the wrong places.
But we're not. This is the delusion.
I don't think we're going to be shot in the Championship. Like, there's really good.
But do you think we'll spend 10 million on a goalkeeper?
No, but I reckon we could spend about £5 million and you could get somebody who's played in the Champions League.
I think.
Look,
come on.
You can't compare and say that all goalkeepers that are £5 million are as bad as Barkas. I think that was just a really bad. Whoever scouted Barkas done really poorly and was scammed. Not every goalkeeper that cost £5 million. I mean, how much did Fraser Foster cost the first time?
2.5. But that was
and he's better than every goalkeeper we've had.
If we look at it, Stevie Woods is brilliant. Stevie Woods is brilliant just with the training of the goalkeepers, and excluding Barkas, I think he's done very well.
Scott Bain.
He's done well. Scott Bain at a point. Scott Bain done well. Yeah, he was a part of the treble winners. He was a treble winner. He was playing in old firms that we won.
I personally think Celtic dropped the ball a bit of Conor Hazard.
Yeah, look, let's. You can't. Joe Hart is someone that we want to keep about because he can have the experience in the changing room. Would Darren Moy featured heavy this season?
Probably not.
But would you have liked to have kept him for
not the money he was on, and I don't think we'd like to keep Joe Hart for the money he was on if he wasn't playing.
I don't think Joe Hart's on high wages.
He's at least in £30,000 a week.
No, he'll be loan that.
20,000.
20,000, and that's
come on,
and that's peanuts to these Premier League.
It's not, the Premier League teams, but we're not a Premier League team. We're a Scottish Premiership team, and we can't afford to have 20 grand sitting on the bench.
You defended Colo Dury 2 weeks ago.
Brilliant,
Colo Dury was brilliant. He was doing all his dances.
I didn't think I said that.
Great for team motivation.
Listen.
Do you know any clips in TikTok? Let's see if we can find
There's nothing about Colo Dury, but listen, look. We're a different team now. We're trying to move forward, okay? And I know you're saying about Joe Hart, he's a big part. For me, he wants football. It's at the end of his career. It's either he plays constant football, he's a starting goalkeeper, or he's going to retire. He's got enough money. I can't see him sitting in the background and sitting in the
goalkeeper's definitely something that we need to touch on, and we need to put in. Obviously, we'll touch on transfers soon enough.
I want to email them at
I've got him speed dial after Papa John's and Domino's. Anyway, look, the whole point is, I think Joe Hart would be brilliant to help just for this transition year of going to Brendan Rodgers, to have in the back room to support, and then his contract expires. You're not going to get any money for Joe Hart. Are you going to get any money?
I think there was, after this year, maybe get about 500 grand.
Well, he's out of contract, so you need to sign a contract.
Well, look. See, at the end of the day, I think he's gone. He's not going to sign another contract.
So realistically, you're not going. You need to sell him within the next month.
Well, we're not going to sell him. He'll end up staying, and if he does stay, I don't think we'll bring an end date that will be worth enough money to replace him. And if we do, then he's not going to play. As big as he is, and as big of a...
No, he'll not play, but I think he's good to have in the back.
Maybe in the cups.
I think he's good to have in the back.
I mean, look, we failed. Like you're talking as if it was years ago we brought in Benjamin Seagrass, who was top 3 goalkeeper in the league. We brought in the league and sat in the bench and done absolutely nothing.
But it was a couple of weeks ago when we done our predicted Brendan Rodgers 11, obviously, just to look at it. I said I wanted to give Seagrass a go. And he has had his chance in friendlies.
Well, look,
for me, not good enough.
Yesterday.
Not good enough.
Let's talk about yesterday. 3-2 to Celtic. The first goal scorer was Rio Hatate from around 30 yards. Somehow just outside the box. Second goal.
Well worked goal.
Second goal was really well worked.
I think it was David Turnbull kind of quickly into Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly, fake pass, straight through. And Bernabei slots it.
Bernabei slots the ball through the goalkeeper's legs, and he played in the. Can we talk about outstanding players? He was brilliant when he came on. I think. I was sitting in the main stand, right down there, right next to the dugout, and you seen him, like the movement, the way he was moving, the way he was communicating with the players, the quick passes, the spaces he was getting into. I think he was brilliant.
I think Bernabei definitely, and as much as it was, we'll touch on the negatives of the game yesterday soon, as much as it was James Forrest's testimonial, which we will touch on. I think when Abada came on for James Forrest, that side with Abada and Bernabei was electric. It was superb.
It was absolutely brilliant. Obviously Abada playing on the left, Yang
on the right,
and then up front we were obviously playing O, who was travelling back, travelling forward, travelling left, travelling right. Gave some effort, even though he never got a goal.
Third goal, talking about O, brilliant cut back. It looked as if he was going to take a shot. Brilliant cut back for David Turnbull.
The Capitan last night after James Forrest went off, I thought he was brilliant. Oh, look, come on, we can all slay people.
I think David Turnbull played well, and I was not a fan of him under Postecoglou's system because it was such a fast brand of football that I didn't think he could play. Do I think there's a chance for him in Brendan Rodgers' system? Absolutely.
A more physical position.
I think he's got 1 year left in his contract, so that has to be a talking point about getting David Turnbull a contract.
I'll let you get the money for him.
Let's touch on the negatives straight away.
Oh, 2 seconds.
Right,
I'm not done talking about David Turnbull.
I knew you were going to do this. Right, on you go.
No, so Matt, the point I want to highlight was about the midfield last night, and I said before the game as I was watching Athletic Bilbao train and practice, we knew we were going up against a really good technical team. Any team you play that play in the Spanish league and can finish in the top half of the Spanish league are always going to be good technical teams. They pass the ball really well, they pass the ball fast, and they move the ball into positions. And the 3 midfielders that we started, Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate.
You sound as if you're starting the negatives here.
No. Listen. The third midfielder was Kuhn. Well, now this is the point. I mean, I don't think that midfield worked. Rio Hatate, he was putting in the effort, and he was running about and stuff, but he just always felt like he was getting there as the ball left.
So I think Rio Hatate, I kind of seen push forward into that striker role at points because Kyogo's getting pulled out right. James Forrest, as much as it was testimonial, I don't think James Forrest is up to scratch. As you said, it's a top Spanish team. We're playing a top Spanish team.
Yeah. They're not about top, I'd say top 6.
Well, okay. Top 6, top half, whatever you want to call it. You get caught off the pace, and you cannot be that off the pace in Europe. And
I think that's I get highlighted by a couple of Celtic fans I was talking to, was who were sitting behind the goal where, roughly used it. And obviously I couldn't see it from my position, but Celtic were playing really narrow.
Yep.
And we were giving their wingers in the first half and the second half a lot of space out wide. If that is a better team you're playing, like a Barcelona or somebody you play in the Champions League, they will exploit that.
So Kyogo kind of got pulled out of position. Hatate then had to fill in that striker role at points. For me, Hatate wasn't great. I think the Twitter's jumping the boil a wee bit. We will touch on what's been jumping the boil. Keown, for me, too slow.
He gave away the ball 5 times in the first 20 minutes of the game.
It might be nerves because he's playing in such a big stadium, things like that. For me, you will get away with it against Ross County. We seem to be turned out for about 9-10 years.
You'll get away with it against teams in Scotland, let's be honest.
Such a slow pace, giving the ball away, you'll get away with it in the SPL. Europe found out.
I mean, look at the chances we gave Muniz. I don't exactly know how to say his name. Inigo Muniz?
I think it is.
the amount of chances, his ball carrying, he's a brilliant player, also a world-class player. The ball carrying, the way he was taking the ball. When you give guys like that a chance, especially players like Inaki Williams and the players they've got, you're going to cause trouble for yourself. And we've always been our own worst enemy in Europe. We've always been our own worst enemy at times, giving away the ball and losing stupid goals we shouldn't lose. I can count the amount of goals last season that we gave away in Glasgow derbies and in Europe that we shouldn't have given away just because of stupid mistakes. And that's something that I think Brendan Rodgers is going to try and reduce. He's going to try and reduce those stupid mistakes and keep the team playing easier football away from the back to try and reduce them. And the way that Quon looked yesterday, and I know that he's just came in and look, I'm not saying he's a bad player, he'll probably turn out to be brilliant, but from last night, he was a bomb scare.
It's almost as if you were describing Iwata for me there. Iwata was very, very poor at right back. I felt in the Japanese games he played really, really well at right back. My opinion of him,
I think maybe been up against a better quality player.
Yeah.
And Aki Williams was he playing on the right?
Or was it Minion? Or it was one of the two.
I think they were switching around because at one point Aki Williams was on the right and then he was on the left and then he was through the middle. I think that's what you get when you've got such a versatile player. He can play many positions. But I think that maybe the match-up, whether it was Munion or whether it was
it was just like us last season. The Portuguese guy who should not be named and Diaz Maeda were constantly swapping wings.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's it shows you how hard it must have been for teams to defend us last season playing that kind of football.
Wata for me, look, I think he's going to be your utility player. He's going to be where you need him. If you need him in centre back one week, he's going to be centre back.
He's good at right back. He's good at a couple of things, but not great at anything.
Yeah,
as bad as that. Yeah, don't sound.
I think he will. Look, we've seen a lot of utility players throughout our years at Celtic there, who guys like Charlie Mulgrew. Charlie Mulgrew got Celtic's Player of the Year, Scotland's Player of the Year.
Left back, centre back,
and then
CDM.
2-3 years later, he was awful, and that's how it works. And sometimes these guys thrive because they're on such great form, but these utility players, as you said, good at wee things, not brilliant at anything.
Aye, I mean you're not gonna have your own position in the team for a long period of time. There's always going to be someone who can play that position better than you.
That was the first half. I think touching on it, Iwata, Rio Hatate scored straight away conceding. Iwata was very poor.
I was nearly heartbreaking.
Look, the back four, which we'll touch on obviously coming up for the county game, for me, I've never thought I'd ever say this, but Anthony Ralston needs to start at the weekend. And he came on, and when he came on, I think he got a bit feisty in the second half. There was a few fouls from Athletic Bilbao.
Yeah, I thought for being a friendly, there was a lot of.
Anthony Ralston's one of these guys. He's known as Bricky for a reason. He's solid. I don't think he's the best technical footballer, but he's
not. He's not.
He's got your back, sort of.
He's always out there for his teammates, and he's always going to leave effort in the field.
I think there's times I watch him when I'm frustrated. He's going to have to start against Ross County.
I think we've got realistically. I think we've got to that game at Ibrox to create a solid.
You love talking about this game at Ibrox weeks away.
Well, look,
if you watched last week,
but we've got until that game. No, but I'm saying we've got until that game to find a solid back line.
You've got
a solid back line.
Aye, you could name me.
I don't know. I don't know.
For Ibrox, Naraki, who also played the first half, looked brilliant. Carter Vickers back. Carter Vickers looked as if he'd been away.
We know the other two. I think Starfield actually played okay as well. The other two centre backs are going to start,
and then Alistair Johnston shall be back.
Is he going to be fit? No. Is he going to be match fit?
And if he's not,
no, you need to be match fit for Ibrox. We're not looking at training fit. We need match fit.
And if he's not, Anthony Ralston,
and that's what worries me. That kind of worries me.
And who's he against? Who's doing that left side? Cantwell pocketed. See, he loves it. They love it. Just a bit of nit and grit, and that's what he's got.
Yeah, it is.
I personally,
I swear I've never experienced you turn into an
I know, absolutely not. Jack has known me for many, many years, and Anthony Ralston has always frustrated me. I feel when we go to Ibrox, I personally felt for a few years, just not even the last season where Scott Brown was kind of done, I felt for a long period of time Scott Brown shouldn't be playing in these games. But when he did play in these games, he was up for it. He was thriving. He was loving it. He was battering people. He was giving them a kick.
Now you're getting clipped for saying that.
I don't care.
That's definitely
I don't care. But I think when I looked at that, when you looked at that Celtic midfield, technically Scott Brown from the 9-in-a-row season for me wasn't quick enough. That's how we found out in Europe against teams like Copenhagen.
Oh, we know. I'm not disagreeing with you.
So when you were playing Rangers with a would have wanted a more technically flair midfield. Yes, you can stick that in the clip as well.
We got away with it. I think we got away with it for a long time because the teams that were playing in Scotland just weren't up to scratch.
Right. Well, you can add that on in the clip as well.
Okay,
then,
right.
No, because it'll be.
No, I'm just going to clip it and say Scott Brown isn't good enough to play Old Firms.
That's fine.
Good enough
That's fine. That's fine. I think the midfield, which back then, which we're going to touch on the midfield last night, the midfield back then I would have wanted more flair.
Yeah.
Now, midfield last night,
okay.
Home, O'Reilly, Turnbull, unreal, all three of them. But now, this is my question. I can't see Hatate dropped at the weekend, and I don't see you drop your captain. So what one of the three of them goes in?
I don't think it's going to be Thiago Home as much as I actually like it to be him, because
if I was going to pick it, it'd be Thiago Home.
I feel like he's probably too similar to Rio Hatate though.
If I was going to pick it, it'd be Thiago Home, but I can't see it being
Thiago Home. Probably Matt O'Reilly. It's probably going to be Matt O'Reilly. He actually played really well. I actually really enjoyed Matt O'Reilly. I actually really enjoyed Matt O'Reilly. I think he played actually spectacular.
As you said, it's a good Spanish team. It's usually all battle through the midfield. I think the midfield done brilliant battling. I think it was more not in a sense, as I said, that's why Ralston was good, but we also played with a bit of flair, a bit of style.
No, we did.
The ball was constantly going out to Abada and Yang. You're playing.
There was fast movement. We were overloading their defence. We were overloading their midfield, and I think they kind of struggled. Obviously, they made a lot of changes by that point. So, can we really say that it was a spectacular win over a good team? Probably not. It was like their second team. It was our second team. However, it was really pleasing to see because players that are playing Spain that are even second team quality players. So you take some of them at Celtic.
Oh yeah.
Because these guys are still there for a reason. They're getting paid like 15 grand a week because they're there for a reason. They're good players. Some of them are young guys. They're older guys. They're really good at what they do. So to even beat a team, it's that quality. The guys that are good enough to play in that league. Was well, and it was good. And at the end of the day, you look at it and you go, we made a statement the other week saying the backups weren't as good as the first team, and now it's the exact opposite. The second team was by far better, faster, stronger than the team that started.
I think that's what Brendan Rodgers does. I think Brendan Rodgers, as we said a couple of weeks ago as well,
I think he's offering them 3 pints at half time.
Bernabeu, man, he's our drunk driver. He loves it.
You can't say that.
I did say that, and I don't care. Anyway, I think that if I'm looking at it, the second team was always going to get players to come on.
Aye, honestly,
you were always going to get players pushing forward. You were only going to get players who. You were always going to get players to thrive. Brendan Rodgers.
No, I know, but see if I'd have told you that a midfield of David Turnbull, Matt O'Reilly, and Thiago Home would have been faster and more energetic than a midfield of Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate. And
if you told me the size of Keown, I'd have probably.
But Rio Hatate is energetic. He's always about. Usually, David Turnbull's known for moving a wee bit slowly about, non-energetic.
Nah, I think that midfield three the second half I would have put my money on. I think Hatate out the five of them is probably. Cal McGregor, for me, you need to play that number 6. Champions League, if you're in Europe, you need to play that number 6. Look at the options you've got.
Might be sitting on the bench this season.
No, he might be.
Watching captain David Turnbull.
Aye.
Lift off.
Cal McGregor playing the number 6. I think Hatate, you're going to be your other one. The other 3, I really enjoyed Thiago Home. Really enjoyed him. I think Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly. I think he's going under the radar quite a bit.
Matt O'Reilly?
He's 12 assists, 13 assists last year. Yeah. He goes very under the radar. I think he's a top player and he gets very unnoticed. I think that's what Matt O'Reilly is. Matt O'Reilly is, if I remember correctly, I said Matt O'Reilly will be one of the ones that Brendan Rodgers takes to the next level.
Yeah.
And I also said looked unreal last night. Very good coming down.
It was interesting.
What do you mean interesting?
It was fast. He was fast. Right. I'd like to see him with more shots and goal.
Yeah, but you see before.
He was amazing.
We
would be amazing.
We were up in Ross County. I remember he fluffed a chance, right, and he done really well technically. He got the ball at the halfway line. He was again, and he turned right. He's worked himself in a position where he was at a narrow angle and he could have rattled it, blocked out for a corner. He's done brilliantly to cut it back.
Oh no, true, he did do really
Brendan
well.
Rodgers done brilliant to bring his game on, and that's why
No, this is the Chris that He wasn't happy with it.
Hold on.
And now he's singing Brendan Rodgers' praise. He's single-handedly changing lives.
No.
Anthony Ralston's a saint. Anthony Ralston has been sent by God. Do you know who's actually really good? Liam Scales. I thought Liam Scales was brilliant.
Liam Scales is playing well. I think
He's been
Liam Scales
sent by
doesn't want
God
to go
as well.
back to Aberdeen.
I don't know what's been happening. I think Brendan Rodgers has come in, rejuvenated
if it's me,
careers.
you're not going, Liam. You can stay for a wee
He's
while.
come in, rejuvenated careers. He's like the saint. He must have sat down at lunch. He sat down at lunch with packed lunch, paper bag packed lunch, showed everybody his Gucci belt, and he's went, you know what? Here we go.
Can I say my bit, right? And no, Liam Scales for me would not be going out on loan just now after that pre-season.
He's your fourth choice.
He's your fourth choice, correct?
Yep.
I wouldn't send him out on loan. Is someone who would have been very rash when he first came in, and I think Brendan Rodgers has advanced his game.
Who's your third choice?
Yes, you need to get.
I made it still.
Absolutely. But I think I think Oz the game's been advanced, and you've seen that.
Dies in last night as well in the first half.
Brilliant.
The movement, the speed. You know, just the problems he was causing their right back was phenomenal.
Anthony Ralston, I have for a long time not been a fan of, but I am sticking with my word. He is not technically the best footballer, and he can frustrate, but we need that grit.
I don't think any Celtic fans sitting out there going, did you not see Anthony Ralston ping that 75-yard pass? Everyone knows that technically his game probably isn't up to scratch for Celtic level, but the determination and the heart it gives you is I would say, second to none, but Alistair Johnson's exceptional.
Brendan Rodgers. For me, now, Parkhead Road last night, and it was very nice to see.
Apart from one place in Parkhead, we can already talk of that after, and you go.
Parkhead Road when Brendan Rodgers was announced last night. Now, this is my opinion, and I've said it today, and I'll say it again and again and again. I didn't stand up and cheer Brendan Rodgers coming back, right? Calm, everyone.
You didn't last
No,
night?
I didn't, no.
Okay.
I stood up for James Forrest, I stood up for the Tribal coming out, I didn't stand up and cheer when Brendan Rodgers came out. My opinion is, I don't care if you've paid £20, £600, if you're just watching us on YouTube, if you've not got the money to pay for it, if you're watching Celtic through YouTube highlights in New Zealand, every Celtic fan is entitled to their opinion, and my opinion is, Brendan Rodgers will leave in 3 years' time and I'll still be a Celtic fan. I said, right, no,
come on, the point I want to make now relates to your last sentence.
I said to you, Brendan Rodgers will come in, and I'm not happy about it, but he's the best choice, and and he's the best choice because he'll advance people's games. Your
statement was there. No matter where you watch Celtic, no matter what you do, you're entitled to an opinion.
Yep.
Now, we've seen a pretty big opinion voiced yesterday.
Yes.
By a certain group of people. Is everybody welcome an opinion?
Yes.
Or are some people's opinions so stupid and they're so into themselves that they just shouldn't be allowed an opinion?
Yes, everyone's entitled to an opinion.
Anyone?
Well, if anyone who missed it, the Green Brigade and the Boys didn't attend last night, or a small
the
group.
Boys were there.
A small group of them, not all of them. My opinion is, these guys pay the same as us. Okay, I don't agree with every action that they do. I don't agree with everything that they do.
Buying up tickets so that normal fans couldn't go with their families and then not attending.
But it was their choice. But it also wasn't sold out last night.
No, well, apparently it was on the website. I tried to buy 2 tickets.
I don't think
together.
so.
I know,
I think to buy 2 tickets together it would have been. But
how did you not see the back of your stand?
No, because I didn't.
There was like 200 empty seats all together.
Well, it's not sold out then. I don't sit anywhere near the Green Brigade.
See, at the end of the day, I think everyone's entitled to their opinion, however wrong some people's opinions are. And you know, some people, after Brendan Rodgers wins on Saturday, will be there, who weren't there last night, and they'll praise the Lord and they'll praise Celtic, and it'll all be rosy and it'll be brilliant.
They also, this thing's going about that they don't attend testimonials, which is a lot, and friendlies, which is a load of rubbish. For me, James Forrest has been here 10, 11 years. Was he honking last night? Yes. Was he been honking the last 2 seasons? Yes.
Is he one of the only 3 players to score 100 goals and 100 assists for Celtic?
Yes. So you need to back him. I was getting to that. You weren't letting me get to that.
See, the end of the day,
I think James Forrest has been a brilliant servant for the club, and I think that it should be remembered. And I have a lot of time for someone who's dedicated a long part of their career to Brendan Rodgers. No, not to Brendan Rodgers, to Celtic. I don't know why. My point was, Brendan Rodgers came in. We had guys like Stevie Woods and John Kennedy who were meant to be going to Tottenham, and they stayed, and they've always stayed. James Forrest has always stayed. James Forrest has always been a part of us Celtic, because when we started watching Celtic, James Forrest broke through. Is he done? Yes. Would I give him another contract? No. He's going to run it down. Whatever he does after that, he does after that. He might go and play for Fleetwood under Scott Brown. He might play in the SPL. Never know.
I know you're talking about James Forrest. I know you're talking about James Forrest, but just...
but the support should have been shown. But the support should have been shown by every single Celtic fan there. No matter what, you believe about Brendan Rodgers. Look, the game wasn't about Brendan Rodgers. It was about James Forrest, and everyone should have been there. I didn't stand up when and this is the thing, they made a big announcement about Brendan Rodgers being back and all that through the microphone and that. I didn't stand up. Fair
enough. Look, at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinion. People support the club. No fan or no fan group is bigger than the club. Never will be bigger than the club. If you do think that you're bigger than the club or your fan group is bigger than the club, don't attend Celtic Park. You're probably not welcome. But at the end of the day, look, however many people was there, 50,000 or however many showed up, right? Showed up for one man, that was James Forrest, right? They didn't protest because of they hired Brendan Rodgers and Brendan Rodgers is a snake, or we Linders serving steak pies in the kitchen. We don't like steak pies, we like mince pies. See, at the end of the day, the club's Celtic. You don't support the manager. Nobody's here supporting it only because of Brendan Rodgers. We're no Messi fans and we're no Ronaldo fans. We don't move every time our favourite player or manager moves club. We support the damn club, right? And see, if you don't support the club and you think your opinion actually matters, if we've learned anything, the board don't care. The board don't care if you don't show up. You've bought the tickets. That was the stupidest thing. You've gave them the money. I know the money went to the East Kilbride Hospice, and that was a really good thing by James Forrest and the other charities that he gave it to. You gave the club the money for your season ticket already. Do you think they care if you don't show up? No. Do you think the board cares? No. The only people that you're hurting by not showing up is the players in the field. And that's it. If they would want to show up for the rest of the game for the rest of the season, don't. But they will. And we know they will. Yeah, they will. Anyway. Sorry about that rant. Did you get that off your chest? Do you feel calmer now? Yep. Have you soothed? Yep. If we're going to get a cup of tea or something? Maybe just a wee cup of tea.
Anyway, as I've said, Brendan Rodgers is back. Not my biggest opinion. I'm maybe with people out there agreeing the fact of I don't like him, but I'm still going to watch Celtic every week because it's my thing to do.
Yeah, right, okay.
Next one.
So the next thing we're going to go with is transfers. There's not much.
As Brendan Rodgers did announce, actually,
we're not going to be spending £10 or £15 million a player. That's not the way the club works. We'll be buying players, we will be improving them and selling them for profit. The same penny pinching we have seen for years.
But Brendan knows that, so Brendan's told us that. Thanks, Brendan.
I mean, at least he's made it clear this time, and we're not going to be sitting here for months waiting, thinking we're actually going to sign players that are Champions League quality.
Yeah, he wants to make his dream again, so if he's doing that down pound stretcher, fair enough. Yeah, but anyway,
it's actually, I think it's one below now.
Poundland or what? Was it Poundland?
Pound Stretcher's now one below. Poundland still exists.
Anyway, let's put it this way: 15 to 20 million for a player we're not going to spend. Fabian Rice, and if they can get a deal agreeing of about 10, 11 million, I wouldn't be surprised. Look, it's not, in my opinion, it's not going to happen. I don't see them spending that money. No. Would I love to be proved wrong? Dermot, you're still watching after his rant.
Dermot who sold the Portuguese guy for 25 million, made all the money last year from the Champions League.
Promised apparently 30 million to Rodgers, and now you get 25 more. Come on, chuck some money in. We're just having fun this season.
If we've ever got ambitions of doing anything in the Champions League, you're not going to do it with £2 million players. Come on, at the end of the day, they're good enough quality, but you know, we've seen the difference in golfing quality between, you know, guys like Jota and Carter Vickers last year compared to the other guys in the team that cost less money.
Especially when we were in Germany, I think when Callum McGregor, as much as we haven't spent that sort of money on him, when Callum McGregor went off and Abdelgard came on, as much as we scored early in the second half, we lost that midfield battle in Germany.
No, exactly, that's the thing. Exactly. Quickly. Look at that. I mean, look at this. You're going up against guys like, and we've not got the same money as these clubs, but we bring in quite a lot of money. And we can spend quite a bit of money.
We made a net profit of 103 million. It was reported by some paper.
And Dermot Desmond's worth £2.5 billion or something. £2.5 billion.
Look, nothing's going to be made of transfers until after the Ross County game. Brendan Rodgers has told that.
That's a secret. It's going wait. And then we're going to get to transfer deadline day and nothing's going to happen. And Brendan Rodgers might realise, and the board might realise, we actually might need a couple of players. We might need to fill a couple of gaps.
I'm still convinced they're waiting because they need to wait for teams to make moves.
I know, but how long can you wait? How many teams are going to be making moves?
I think it's like a game of chess.
I mean, that's what West Ham's doing. West Ham haven't made one signing yet.
They're not.
No, they're the only team in the English Premiership that haven't signed anybody.
Well, we'll talk about who they're trying to sign, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are they waiting to see who everybody else is trying to go for before they go?
But I think the difference with West Ham is West Ham have got that sort of calibre of player and money. They've just been handed 100 odd million for Declan Rice.
Scammed.
Who Arsenal, aye?
Yeah,
David Bhoys must have sat with a balaclava on doing that deal, man.
But honestly, Declan Rice, £100 million, who's about Callum McGregor's level?
I said that in Twitter and got hunted.
He's about Callum McGregor's level if he's lucky, and I think that Leicester, Newcastle ended up with a much better deal for James Maddison. I think James Maddison and Tonali are both better players than Declan Rice. But anyway,
hold on, Maddison's not at Newcastle.
No, where'd James Maddison go?
Spurs,
sorry.
Clap him, Jack. Future
sorry,
Jack.
Sorry. I've got my team mixed up. I went asked Ange Postecoglou. I think they got a better deal. James Maddison's a better player than Declan Rice. But what do we know? But at the end of the day, like, English football, crazy money. We talked about it last week. We're not going to talk about it again. Dermot Desmond has money. The other board members have money. Nobody wants to spend money because
wait until after the game.
Look, we've got Brendan. Brendan's going to be a big mural. Brendan outside Celtic Park, and they're going to make us forget that.
Well, Brendan's agreed to this, and if
agreed to the mural.
No, I will probably got one in his house. Anyway, if Brendan Rodgers has came back and agreed to whatever transfer policy's been put in place, we've signed 5 players for around about 13 million. I think they will spend 30 million this window.
You think another 17 million will go?
But I don't think it will be on what we're expecting.
3 players and like £5 million.
Aye,
I take that though.
I don't think it's going to be Fabian Ryder, Livakovic. I think it's going to be 5 million, 5 million. Anyway,
right,
Hatati's meant to be going to West Ham.
And
that's
no
happening. I'm not boring you. You're not boring me.
£25 million. He sent me some rubbish joke about what for a game or something. Didn't even get the joke. It was terrible.
£25 million he's getting for a game. They're getting him for a game.
One game for 20. Right, he's not going even for a game. He's staying here for a year. Then he'll leave and he'll go wherever he's going. We no entertain it. I really don't want to talk about it. It's just all rubbish. In other news, transfer news, there's nothing. So, as much as we'd like to say it and as much as we'd like to sit here and talk about transfer news, that isn't going to happen.
After the Ross County preview of episode 7, we hopefully will have something.
We'll hopefully have some transfer news, but at the end of the day, we've got more happening. Ross County's happening, let's talk about that.
Malky
Mackay, Ross County are coming to Glasgow from
Dingers.
They're coming down. They're here to play the famous Glasgow Celtic. They're bringing legends such as...
Don't even know any of them.
Jakaviti.
He's left.
He left.
Oh. Do you know
they're bringing somebody, right? They're bringing 11 guys, right? And they're going to
I'll touch on it because I've probably got a wee bit more.
What?
On you go then. Who've they got?
I thought you just said you didn't know any other players.
Jan Danda, who looks as if
Jan
there's
Danda. Did you sign Jan striker?
No, he's an attacking midfielder, Jan Danda, and he looks to be the sort of danger man. Jordan White, who has been the prolific goal scorer up front, who worked well with Regan Charles-Cook, still there.
Regan Charles-Cook gone.
Yeah, he's gone 2 years ago. They've still
gone for like double the money Motherwell showed Ken Van Veen for. That was kind of crazy.
Ross Calican's still there. They've got players like that. Tilson.
Look, see, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Right.
So the Wolves there. Eamon Brophy.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a classic SPL side.
It's a team, they're only going to cause us problems if we have stupid mistakes. Look, do you know who causes problems? Curtis Main. And why was that? Because there was stupid mistakes. See, if we're committing stupid mistakes, we're going to lose stupid goals. And we shouldn't be losing stupid goals to teams like Ross County. See if Ross County come out and they score a goal that is wonderful football, then you know what I'll go? Congratulations, Ross County, that was a brilliant goal.
But this is a classic.
They're not going to score brilliant goals, right? As much as it is to downplay them. We should have enough to beat them. Brendan Rodgers tactically should know what he's up to. Anything less than a victory, I would be slightly worried.
It's a classic SPL side. I've ran through all the players that I can think of the top of my head that will cause you any threat. I think Laidlaw's still the goalkeeper.
Ross Laidlaw?
Yeah, Ross Laidlaw. I think that collective of players that I mentioned, Dingers, that's the sort of players that are going to cause you trouble. I can't see a way in which we lose this. Clipped if we get battered.
Well, I don't know what's worse. It's either worse you saying that or me saying if we lose it, it's slightly worrying.
I can't see a way in which we lose this.
Kyogo will score. He'll score.
I think this is where we do a start. You can do your 11, I'll do mine.
40 minutes, we'll go for a quick 11, we'll see how it goes. Right, okay, well, I'll go first.
Right, on you go.
So I'm starting Joe Hart because it's Joe Hart, isn't it? I mean, there's no reason why not to. Left back, I'm going Bernabe.
Right.
Over Greg Taylor. No offence, Greg Taylor, but Bernabe's played well. I think it would be a bit insulting not to put him in the team. 2 centre backs, Naroki and Carter Vickers. Don't think there's any worries there. At right back, Andy Ralston has to start, as much as it pains Chris for me to say it. Ralston starts. Your midfield 3, Cal McGregor on the 6, Rio Hatate and Matt O'Reilly. Your 3 attackers at left wing, Daizameda, Kyogo up front, Abada on the right.
It's a wee bit different to mine.
Okay, right, fair enough.
In goals, I would go Joe Hart. I'd go back for Bernabe, Starfelt, Carter Vickers. Starfelt and Carter Vickers still haven't lost a game in the league. The Rockies just through the door, give them a wee bit of time.
True.
Even Van Dijk with to mould in. We were playing Ambrose and we'll go over him for a period.
I don't think Van Dijk came in with quite the same accolades that Nordoki came in with though. Keep going.
Right back, Anthony Ralston, my favourite player of all time. The midfield, Cal McGregor in the number 6, Rio Hatate and Thiago Home for me.
I'd accept Thiago Home. I'll take.
I think I was really impressed with him yesterday, and I'd like to see a lot more. I'm going to go with Abada on the left. As much as Daizamader's had a brilliant pre-season, I want to see that left-hand side go again and give it a go in the SPL.
Okay.
Really impressed with Bernabe and Abada yesterday, and I want to see what they're like in the SPL. And if it's something that obviously we played against a good European side, if it's something we could maybe do in Europe. So Abada on the left, Kyogo through the middle, and on the right, I'm really impressed with Yang as well.
So you're starting Yang?
I'm going to start Yang.
Fair enough.
Really impressed. I just want to see what that left-hand side's like. Obviously, it means you can put Abada on the other side. You've got Dice in there. A guy who didn't even get on yesterday was Haksabanovic.
I know, Haksabanovic. Yeah.
So you've got Haksabanovic that's also there. I think Haksabanovic at this point is going to be more an impact player off the bench. But look, it was a wee bit different from yours. I think the two centre backs have been so solid for us for 2 years. Why would you not start them together? Getting the Rocky a bit of time to settle in. It was good for him to make his Parkhead appearance yesterday. He done really, really well. He was really, really strong. Carter Vickers doesn't look as if he's even been away. He just looks as if he's had an extended holiday.
Yeah, he's an extended holiday. Look, he looks fit, he looks smart, he looks sharp, he looks strong, and that's everything we need from Carter Vickers. He is our most valuable player.
Kyogo, well, I'm back, you big man.
Come on. They're both pretty valuable.
Yeah, you never know. The way we're going here, Abada could be put in.
Well, look, he could be in the top 3, honestly. He might be, and so might a couple of other players. Now, at the end of the day, we're going to end it. But what I'm going to ask you...
Well, hold on. Before we go any further, the answer to the question of the week last week, who was the last player to score against a Spanish side, as we're leaving it to the end of the episode.
If you won the getting this, then...
If you didn't celebrate as much as it was a pointless goal, as much as I did, it's Jota, free kick against Real Madrid.
Yep, what a brilliant free kick. This week's question of the week. Now, this week's question of the week, we're going to go with quite an interesting one. It's not exactly a question about knowledge, but it's going to be like a question of people's opinions. Can you list down below or put your 3 favourite Celtic players you've seen at Celtic? No matter what time they're from, if you're from the 60s, you watched the Lisbon Lions, if you watched Martin O'Neill's teams, if you watched Gordon Strachan's teams, you watched Neil Lennon's teams, some of their players might be your favourites. If Abu Kouassi really got your heart going, get him in there, by the way. But just list down the 3 players down below.
I just said that.
Yes, if you get the
If you've made it to this point in the episode and you've heard him say that, I just write Abu Kouassi for that.
Well, get them down below. I want to see them.
Are we saying hanging fire?
Well, you go. Give us yours, but make it quick. Come on, 44 minutes here.
Callum McGregor, captain, fantastic for me. He's been brilliant. Jota, as I said, is my favourite player of all time. The man I'm wearing could be a debatable one, but I kind of need to say Gary Hooper or Kyogo. There's so many I could name.
Yeah, right. Come on, one.
I don't want to say all from the same team.
Why do you not give it Joe Ledley? You love Joe Ledley.
I love Joe Ledley as well.
You can give me any team you want. Come on.
Do you know what?
Now make it players that you've watched.
Callum McGregor. Yeah, you need the ones you've seen.
If you're 13 and you're telling me that
Nick Larsson was
you're
the best
hating,
thing
you're
we've seen.
telling me that Billy McNeil was doing what do you call him? He was doing like Rabonas and scorpion kicks and that, and he was doing like McGiddy spins and stuff. Then we're not having that.
So Callum McGregor or Jota, and I'm gonna go. Gary Hooper.
There we go. Well done,
The
brilliant.
original Hunscalper.
Oh my god. Right, okay. Well, I'll just go with three quick. I'm listening in no specific order. Samaras, brilliant. Looked like Jesus. Loved him.
Right,
Loved
is
him.
that
No, honestly, I loved him. I think there was something special about the goals he scored in it. It was just as we were starting to get in, as we were starting to, realise what was happening. And it was just dead fantastical time. And I remember having a season ticket and watching him and just the way he looked, the way he carried himself, the wonders he done with JBT and stuff like that, and being such a good guy, brilliant player. Second guy I'm going to go with Kyogo. Hard to argue against him. He's a solid player, fast player, strong player. Don't get fit me. He's a solid player. I love him. And my third one, I'm just going to go. It's hard, thinking of that third player. The third player to put in there.
you need to put who I think you need to put.
Oh no, I'm not going to be putting who you think I'm going to be putting. It's
How?
because you're going to be greatly disappointed.
No, you cannot put him. You need to put Musa.
Well, Musa will definitely, but I'm going to go with Craig Gordon. I love Craig Gordon. I think he epitomised Celtic. He was a really big Celtic player. And the picture of him on the ground with his hands up as we score that goal
Against
just
Aberdeen,
to win. It's fantastic. He was brilliant. He loves Celtic. Sad what we've done to him. He would still be playing if he was still here, if he was still full fitness. I think he's better than Joe Hart, honestly. I think in his career he's been better than Joe Hart. Just saying. And I just love him. And that's my team. Victor Wanyama. You're right, Victor Wanyama, Musa Dembele.
Right, we're going to go down rabbit holes.
Guys like that. But anyway, thank you for watching. We are really happy that we've made it to episode 6 and we're still going. We've not fell out yet. Yeah. No,
Maybe that Joe Hart debate when it goes on TikTok will. As we say, guys, every week, please keep retweeting, following, subscribing, keep up to date with us on TikTok.
I know it's 700 on TikTok now. And
brilliant.
I know it's taking its time and stuff like that, but people are engaging, apart from the rude comments from people about certain things, from certain fan groups, which shouldn't be in comments on normal things because it's disgusting. The engagement from the Celtic fans has been brilliant. I feel like everyone's sharing their opinions, whether they hate us for our stupid opinions or they agree. It's been brilliant just to hear what everyone's thinking, the way people are thinking about Celtic, and everyone's so polarised and divided in these opinions.
So once again, guys, as we're saying, subscribe, retweet, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Hail, hail. Enjoy your night.